going to do is make butter chicken today. And to make the butter chicken, these are the ingredients that are in front of you that you're going to need. And you can use either or tandoori masalas, either one. And if you don't have tandoori masala, you can use cardamom powder, ground clove, cinnamon, and tomato sauce as your masala in there if you don't have the tandoori masala, or you can do a mixture of all of them. Okay, so first what we are going to do, traditionally you marinate the chicken. Once you marinate the chicken, you're going to need Greek yogurt, your chicken pieces, and tandoori masala, and that's how we're going to marinate. And we are going to put a little bit of ginger garlic paste in the marination. So we're going to marinate the chicken first. We're preparing the chicken for the butter chicken, and we are trimming the fat away from the meat. And then the best thing to do is kind of make little cuts in the chicken so the flavors actually, like so, and so the flavors will settle in when you marinate it overnight. So if you're in a hurry, you can either marinate it for an hour or two. The best is overnight marination. So for marinating, you want your Greek yogurt. Don't get non-fat, but for this recipe, non-fat is just fine. So you want, like, probably if you have this much chicken, you probably want this whole thing of yogurt in here to marinate it with. So that's that. So last step we did is added the Greek yogurt. We're going to take a tablespoon of garlic ginger paste, one. Because it's a lot of chicken, we're going to take another tablespoon of it. Either you can use this jar of garlic ginger paste that you can get at the Indian grocery store, or you can have fresh ginger and garlic and grate it and have 2 tablespoons. After that, we are going to take tandoori seasoning, and we are going to put that in the chicken here. I'm going to take 1, 2, and 3 tablespoons of tandoori chicken. We're going to add a little bit of olive oil to it. So I did a capful of olive oil. So I would say 1 tablespoon of olive oil. And now we're just going to get your hands dirty and start mixing all the ingredients together. Once they are mixed, you put it in the fridge, cover it, and marinate it overnight. Okay? So. Yep. Now we're going to add some red food coloring to give chicken some red tinge. And this marinated chicken, this is orange, but you can get either orange red or orange food coloring. Either one is okay. And you can use this chicken once it gets marinated. This is also tandoori chicken that you get sizzling on a hot plate in an Indian restaurant. And you can use this. So that's version 1. And then when you make the cream in the pot, the gravy, it's called butter chicken. So there's 2 recipes in one. Orange, red food coloring too. There you go. It's done. Got it? Yep. And this is the almost same color, but this is a little bit more red than this. So we're going to crush some cashews. So instead of using heavy cream, if you want to be healthier, you can use cashew paste. So I'm actually going to make cashew powder. And I'm going to put this on a blender and come back, and it's going to be powder. So we just grinded all the cashews, and it's really soft powder. So we're going to use the cashew powder once we are ready for the sauce or the gravy, which is the same thing. Okay. I'm gonna turn the Instant Pot to saute. But we have a lot of chicken, so we're gonna put butter and oil, hence the name butter chicken. So that butter goes in. And we're going to wait for the butter to melt. While the butter melts, I'm going to open up this tin of the sauce. Spray as well if needed instead of the sauce, or you can just use the sauce. Now the butter is melted and I put some olive oil in it. I'm going to put some onions inside of it. So it's about half a cup of onions, not a lot.
Oh, Jimmy, some healthy food. That goes in there.
So we have onions in the butter right now, cooking. So we have to fully cook the onions, almost caramelize them before we put our tomato sauce in it. Alright, so I just want to show you the difference between raw onion and onion that is well done, caramelized. Now at this point, you want to add your ginger garlic paste as well to this. So here is my ginger garlic paste. Since the marinated chicken already has ginger garlic paste, this is all I'm adding. And we're going to cook it additionally for another few minutes. Okay. May want to step back. Now I'm going to add the sauce. So that was a little over half of the 106 ounce can. Little over half. Now we are going to cook the tomato sauce, and we are going to add a few ingredients to it while it cooks. Okay, so now we're going to add the spices to this. So one way to do it is you can just add the tandoori masala in here, but I'm not going to do that because our marinated chicken already has the tandoori masala in it. What I'm going to add is cardamom powder, about 1.5 teaspoons. We're going to add clove powder, about 1/2 teaspoon.
Are we going to eat anything?
We're going to add salt to taste. We're going to add a little bit of cinnamon powder, about 1/4 teaspoon, or less than 1/2 of 1/4 teaspoon for cinnamon. And the secret ingredient is raw honey. That's what gives you the sweetness. So we are going to squeeze some honey, if I can get it out. It's locked. So we're going to add probably 1.5 tablespoons of honey in there. And we are going to mix all these ingredients together. I am going to be adding 2 cups of water to this as well. And then we are going to cook it and let the oil bubbles come from inside. And I'll show you what I mean by oil bubbles versus water bubbles. You can pass. Traditionally, what you want to do is while your tomato sauce is cooking, you also want to use heavy whipping cream. The proportion is 1 cup of tomato sauce to 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. Hey Hannah. Okay, so we are cooking the tomato sauce right now, but also we're going to add heavy whipping cream, not at this moment, but the proportion, the ratio is 1 cup of tomato sauce to 1 cup of heavy cream. That's the ratio. So you can be conservative and you can add that ratio, or you can cut it in half or 1/4, whatever your comfort level is. The tomato gravy cooks. As you can see, there are these bubbles. I call them water bubbles, and that means it's still raw. When it gets fully cooked, you're gonna see oil or butter that we put initially come up about at this level, so covering the layer on top of this tomato sauce, and then you're going to see oil bubbles instead of water bubbles. This is cashew powder. I'm going to use some lukewarm water and let it sit so it can make like a thick paste, so it doesn't clump up. Now it's almost near done, but there are still water bubbles. But at this point, I'm going to put the heavy whipping cream in it. And we're going to mix it. It's going to take this really nice orangey creamy color. And now we're going to cook it more, where you're going to see the cream, the butter, the oily part that's going to come on top. You want to stir this occasionally, stir it occasionally, so it does not get in touch on the bottom. Minute, don't remember it boiling. Just unclumping the cashew, the powder that we made. You're gonna nod your head. This is the cashew nut paste that we made earlier. I added water to it and made it really nice and thin. I'm going to add it to version 2, which is the healthy version, the cashew paste, to the butter chicken part. We are going to stir it. And as you can see, it looks a lot similar to the butter chicken when we added the cream. It gives you that creamy tinge to it. Now we want to cook it. And it's going to do the same thing. Butter chicken now to it. Either you can cook this chicken in the tandoori oven or your grill or the regular oven that you have in the house. But this is the non-cooked version. I'm just laying the chicken pieces in here. I'm going to add water to this as it's really, the gravy is thick. Close the pressure cooker and cook it for 15 minutes. Just gonna stir it, give it a nice stir. I'm gonna add a little bit of water to this. We're gonna add a little bit of water so it's not that thick and it doesn't stick on the bottom. And I'm going to close the pressure cooker and cook it for 15 minutes. Now this was the sauce where we used the cashew nuts with it, and I'm going to add raw chicken to this as well. We're going to cover the pot. Going to mix it up. Again, we are going to add a little bit of water to this to make it a little bit thinner so it cooks in the gravy. And we'll leave it for about 15-20 minutes.